Good morning, good morning. I got my coffee here. It's a pretty early morning. Hopefully the lighting's halfway decent sitting in here. But as you guys could tell, got some drywall stacked in here, started the ceiling. Hopefully a video will come out tomorrow for the Crockers. That'd be great, really great. And then a video on the Crocker life should come out tomorrow. Coffee Crockers. Should be a whole day of Crockerness. A little bit of lack of sleep last night. Not the worst that we've had in a while, but a little bit. Reagan just would not go to sleep. I think I stayed up. I could be wrong, but I think I stayed up to about 11 with her whenever we tried to get her to go to sleep. I think around 8 or 8:30. And I think I ended up staying up with her to about 10:30, 11. So a little bit later, and then Danielle and I really, if you guys know us, you know that we like to go to bed early, and that has not been a thing the last week, 8, 9 days, whatever it's been. And I'm trying my absolute best to keep everything moving out here, moving and grooving, while also playing the dad life and husband life. Let me get some coffee real quick. And I don't know how Danielle's doing it. She takes on the majority of the role of taking care of Reagan, because if I'm out here working, clearly she's by herself. And then at night, she's the one that has to feed, so she does that. If it's at night and she's feeding, then I am sleeping, and then Danielle will wake me up, and then I will hold Reagan until she goes to sleep, and then Danielle can go to the bathroom, do whatever she needs to do after feeding, all that type of stuff, and try to get a little bit of sleep, and then I'll, clearly stay up. My goal every time is by the time Danielle is laying back down, I could already have Reagan asleep, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Last night was not one of them times, but it's quite all right. We are getting through it, and it is 100% worth it, even if she is fussing, and you're holding her, and you just look down at her, and it makes it 100% worth it. And Danielle this morning was like, "Oh, you're going to be struggling a little bit," and I said, "It's all right. I got more sleep than expected," and I was like, "I got me some extra coffee. This is my third cup today, this morning. It's still pretty early. I already have all the materials. I stopped at Lowe's yesterday evening, made sure I got all the stuff that I needed to hopefully knock everything out today." But I really do think it's been going good in the grand scheme of things of how it could be going with the newborn. As you guys know, she was a little jaundiced, and we've made many trips to the pediatrician and all that, make sure everything's good. If you missed it, we did get a good thumbs up approval. I'm trying, guys. Thumbs up approval of, hey, no need to come back until the 2-week mark, which is coming up. But we're on the up and up on sleep. The first couple days was pretty rough. And then Danielle's mom is going to be back in town for about a week. She's here for other things, but she will be here to help as well. So that makes me feel good knowing that I can have longer days out here working where Danielle isn't at home too much by herself. So I'm really going to just try to knock out as much as humanly possible by myself. I did buy the drywall hoist. I don't know what you call that. Lift. And it took me a little bit of time to really get used to it, try to figure it out, but I've definitely started to figure it out. I've getting back in the routine of things of working. Whenever I don't work every single day, it's very hard. So anyone out there that maybe you're going through something and you're trying to get back in the swing of things and it's just not working, I think that's normal, especially for someone like myself. It if I stay in motion, that motion does very, very well. If the motion slows down, it is so much harder to keep it going and to get back to where I need it to be. So hopefully, I'm hoping September. I don't know if today's the 1st. I don't know if it's the last day of August or the first day of September. I'm not sure. But I'm hoping September is just push, get it all done. And I just can't wait to be living in this and being out here on the property full time. It has been a lot of back and forth for months now, and I'm pretty tired. I'm tired of the drive. I will do it every single day for as long as it takes, but I am getting burnt out. Not being around Danielle as much, I'm kind of getting burnt out of that. Most couples, I think, kind of get burnt out of being around each other, and I miss it. It's a lot of fun being able to work and do all the stuff with the animals and just joke around and see each other, and even down to, taking a break and grilling up and doing all that. To not have that for a good minute, it's been crazy after years of it was just that for the most part. It was literally just grinding and living on the property and doing everything. And literally we're at the point of we pay a mortgage on a house that we're not even at ever. What a waste to, I'm glad we have it because of Reagan, but the back and forth and not being around each other sucks. So it's definitely it's a weird time. It's a weird phase of our life, but luckily it is just a phase. And the day we get to be out here full time is going to be so awesome. It'll give us so much more time together. It'll give us time together as a family. It'll give us a lot of downtime together. Just bare minimum of the drive back and forth, that's 2 hours out of my day every day that I cannot, no matter what, spend time building or spend time working on the property or spend time with Danielle and Reagan or spend time relaxing or whatever it is. It's 2 hours of driving every single day, and I'm grateful that we have the two places. I'm grateful for all of it, but it is a beating every day. And that drive, Danielle hates the drive. It beats her up so bad, especially if I'm driving and she's in the passenger seat. For whatever reason, it just beats her up so bad. And it's just going to be an awesome, awesome thing when we're not in that anymore. But there is nothing more satisfying than sacrificing and grinding it out and knowing at the end of the tunnel, it's just going to open up and it's going to be everything you wanted. And without the not so fun times, without the grinding, without the sacrifices and all that, you can't appreciate the good times. You can't appreciate how awesome you have it, and knowing that, hey, I worked hard for this. We weren't just given this. We weren't handed this on a silver platter. We paid for it. We paid for it with our bodies. We paid for it financially. We paid for it mentally, physically. We put in the effort. We did everything. We sacrificed for our future, for our family, and it's worth it. There's so many things looking back on our life when we were kids of, why would my dad want to work nights as a cop? Why would he want to spend his time during the day asleep? Why would my mom, there were different phases of her life. She was a stay-at-home mom with us for a while. She worked at the school for years and years and years until she retired. We weren't able to do a lot of things because they were sacrificing so much to get where we want to be. We would always be like, hey, we want this or we want that. And they're like, no, you don't get everything you want in life. You have to sacrifice. You have to have a savings. You have to really budget. You have to really sacrifice the wants for the needs, and then later in life, when everything is settled down, you get to enjoy it. And the fact that we had everything we ever needed as kids, we didn't get everything we wanted, but we were taught, if you want it, go work for it. You're not going to just get it handed to you. And if our whole lives we just got everything handed to us, there's no way we would be doing any of this. There's no way Jared would be building his own house. There's no way that I'd be doing all this, because we would just think it's not fair. This is not fair. Why do we have to work for this? Why do we have to not have it right now? Why can't you just give it to me? So we were taught a lot of lessons through life in our younger years of, you will get everything you need if you work for it. And you can have that in the moment, but you also have to sacrifice your wants so you can get your wants later. And I hope that's stuff that we can and will teach Reagan. And I really do think that, and I think about it all the time, of what lessons, if she was out here right now and old enough to know what was going on, what would I be teaching her? What would Danielle and I be teaching her? How would we handle a situation if she asked this? Whatever it is, I'm already thinking as much as I can. I hear video clips and podcasts and this and that, and I'm like, that's a good way to handle a situation with the kid. Too many parents these days, instead of their kid being like, why? They're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired of this kid. They make videos about this. About, the kids always ask questions. The kid never gives me time alone. The kid, whatever. I want Reagan to ask questions, because the more questions she asks, the more she'll learn. And we may not know all the answers, but we could even just tell her, come here, buddy. Come over here. Hey, come here. Yeah. The other dogs are chilling, so you get a little special treatment. I want her to ask all the questions, because the more she asks, the more her brain is thinking, and the more she can think logically, and the more she can really try to come up with solutions. And it's not always going to be, well, why? We'll ask her, why do you think? What would you do in this situation? What do you think the right answer is? What do you think, the solution to the problem is? And if you get her constantly thinking, she's going to have common sense. And in a world that lacks common sense, if she has common sense and she's somewhat book smart, she's going to rule this freaking world. She's just going to dominate kids her age. And I've had a problem for so long, and I've thought about doing a whole video on this. I had a problem for so long of how stupid people are, how lazy people are, how just ignorant people are because they want to be ignorant, and it would bother me. And I'm like, I just hate how stupid people are. I hate how lazy people are. I hate this. And I started thinking, but what if I think about this in a positive way? Why be upset about it? The good thing about lazy people and ignorant people and stupid people and people making dumb decisions all the time and this woke era of things and everybody's a victim, let them, because it makes it easier for people like myself and Danielle and Reagan. And Reagan's grew up in a world full of these stupid people. Let those people be like that, because it makes it even easier for us to move up and do well in life. Guys, I don't think I'm a genius when it comes to YouTube. I just think most people on YouTube are lazy. I think most people on YouTube just don't have common sense. Everyone complains, YouTube's too hard. YouTube's banning my videos. YouTube doesn't want to push my stuff. YouTube this, YouTube that. YouTube wants everyone to do well so they can make a ton of money. YouTube makes 50% of what we make. If I make $100 for the month, YouTube made $100 for the month off of us. If we make $1 million a month, YouTube makes $1 million a month. They want to push your stuff and do really well. You suck. You're lazy. Your videos suck. You're doing something wrong. You're taking the easy way out instead of being the opposite of what everyone else is doing. I don't think I'm a genius when it comes to YouTube. I don't think I have common sense. And I'm like, this part of the video is boring. People don't want to hear this. Some people like to hear stuff I say. Some people don't, but that's here nor there on that part. But I'm saying, as far as building, I'm pretty dang smart enough to know that if we build, we get the best views we get. I'm pretty smart to know if we do time-lapse videos, those are our big million-plus videos. So I'm going to save up all our footage. And then I'm going to put a time-lapse video at the end. And then that video that's getting millions of views are constantly getting 50, 60, 100, 200,000 views a month. That's like posting an extra couple of videos a month. That's extra free money that we already did all the work. All I did was spend that time. I spent a couple of days, a week, whatever it is, to edit the big time-lapse video, and it makes the majority of our money for the year. It gets a lot of views throughout the months. It's not hard. It's very simple. But too many people are so stupid or ignorant or lazy, and I almost encourage it now, because the dumber everyone else is, the easier it is for me and my family to do well. And that's at every job. Every job I ever had, I was able to move up the ladder pretty quick. And most jobs that I had left was because I would cap out with my pay. It wasn't that it was just better at everything. It was just when these people were being lazy and didn't want to do the work and were acting like they were working, they were spending more time acting like they were working than working. So I just did their job. And then I went to the boss and said, hey, can I get a raise? And to say, no, we can't afford it. Well, all these people, I'll do the job of 4 people. If you let them go because they're lazy and they're not doing anything, you let them go, you give me $1, $2 raise, I'll do the work. I'm already doing it anyways. Get rid of them. We're going to save the company, $100,000. Give me a $2 raise and I'll do the work. I've done that in many jobs. I worked at a dog place. I came in within the first month. I was like, wow, this is ran terribly wrong. These people are lazy. These people aren't doing anything. And I just went to my manager and vice president of the company, and I just said, look, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but if you fire all these people, I will gladly be the people to interview the people, and I will hire the people that I think that will work hard, and I will do literally the job of everybody here. Fire them. Give me a raise. And you know what they did? They fired the whole staff. They fired the entire staff. I did the job of everybody and ended up hiring new staff, and we ended up being the #1 store there was because too many lazy people. There's just too many lazy people. It's not that I'm just so good at anything. It's just I'm not lazy. I'm not going to sit there and try to take the easy way out. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to look around. I'm going to use my brain. I'm going to use common sense and look around and say, well, if all these people aren't doing this and I do it, that puts me a step ahead of everybody and I will get noticed. YouTube, that's what I did. Not a lot of people wanted to go live in a tent with nothing, in a $20 tent and poop in a bucket and build from the ground up. Not many people wanted to do that. I did, and it blew up. Not many people wanted to buy 60 acres abandoned old place that literally no one was buying. And I told Danielle, I said, I looked at that shop and I said, that shop right there is going to be what blows this channel up. And she's like, are you sure? Because she was brand new to YouTube. She didn't know. She didn't understand YouTube. She had no idea about YouTube. And I said, that shop right there is the reason we're going to buy this property. And that shop right there is going to be the main focal point of this place, this build, this YouTube channel, everything. And if you go to our channel and you go to our videos on the Crockers and you hit most popular and the biggest video with like 7-point-something million views that earned us over 100,000 subscribers and plenty of money to do everything we did is the time lapse of us doing the property and fixing that shop up and repainting it and cleaning it out and turning it into an awesome, sustainable homestead. All you have to do is look and see things for what it is when most people are like, ugh, that's an old barn. Ugh, that's an old building that's just worthless, should be torn down. And Danielle said, I never thought that's what would happen. And she said, I have learned a lot from this. You were definitely correct with that. And her mind now is, how do you see things for what they can be for YouTube? How do we see what the future on YouTube can hold? Time lapses do well. This does well. That does well. And Danielle will throw out so many different ideas. And I'm like, that's actually really smart. I didn't think of that. And Danielle is a smart individual. And we just started really thinking together, hey, everyone out there, not everyone, a lot of people out there are really stupid. A lot of people out there don't understand this and that. A lot of people out there are lazy. Now just imagine, we're not the biggest channel in the world. I wish we were bigger channels like Life Uncontained, Wild Wonderful Off Grid, This Off Grid Life, channels like that are just doing absolutely amazing. But we're doing pretty well. We do pretty well. We get 40, 50, 60,000 views on average. We have a ton of videos doing really well. We make a great living. We're very sustainable out here with our income and our building and everything. We got it figured out pretty well. And if we could show Reagan that, and we could teach Reagan the ways of common sense and not being lazy, she's just gonna rule this place. She's gonna just dominate over lazy kids, iPad kids. We're not gonna just put an iPad in front of our child and let an iPad teach our child. Heck no. We're gonna go travel. We're gonna see the country. We're gonna teach her how to do things. I'm going to teach her how to change a tire, how to change the oil on our vehicle. I'm going to teach her how to do basic building. I'm going to teach her how to do basic, how to fix a toilet if it's leaking. I'm going to teach her how to look at analytics on YouTube and see what's working, what's not working. I'm going to teach her how to figure out taxes. I'm going to teach her how to budget. I'm going to teach her how to do so many things. Danielle's going to teach her all the things she knows. We live in a world of just laziness and just people that are complacent. And thank goodness Danielle was raised up with parents that made her think, that are good business people. Thank goodness I was raised with parents with common sense. I always wondered, how in the world did my dad learn how to build our whole house? Half the house, I guess. There was part of the house they bought, and then they built everything. How did this guy know how to fix things? How did he know how to build a house? How did he know how to do these things? You just try to use common sense. Try not to be lazy. You try to put two and two together. It was a weird noise. I don't know what that was. But if you're raised in that, and you're not raised just stuck to an iPad or a phone or anything like that, you have a really good chance in life. And I guarantee you, most of you guys, I've gone here and there in this video, but I'm waking up now. This is literally the reason why I started Coffee to Crockers probably 7 years ago, or whatever it's been, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I don't know. The whole point was to get hyped up, to remind myself and the people around me, things just be falling out of trees, hitting stuff. The whole point is to get motivated and to remember why you're doing things, and to just get hyped up and realize if you're lazy, you're not going to win. If you're complacent, you're not going to win. If you're not motivated, if you're not thinking outside the box, if you're not using common sense, if you're not using the noggin, if you're just sitting at the TV all morning instead of getting out and doing something, you're not going to do well in life. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing every day but expecting a different result. I'm not going to sit here and do the same thing every day and then complain when something doesn't work. I'm going to try something different. Look at the YouTube channel. That's proof. Everything has changed. People want to say, Jason, you failed. You tried to build a tiny house at the original off-grid. You didn't do well. You tried to go down to your grandma's property and you didn't do well, I did a 100-day challenge. I did the full 100 days. My dad and I converted an old camp house into a nice camp house. We cleaned up the ranch. I lived on that ranch for 100 days, and that was a lifelong dream I wanted my whole life. And that gave me skills and confidence and just able to check off a bucket list in my life. And I'm like, dang, I could do that. And I did it. Went to the original off-grid, and I was able to literally survive out of a $20 tent in some of the craziest storms we had, through a crazy freeze of a polar vortex or whatever it's called. It got down to like negative 10 degrees. It was crazy. And I did that in a survival shelter that I made. I lived in a canvas tent. I turned the canvas tent into a little tiny cabin. I got sheds and I converted them to tiny houses. A lot of people, you failed, you did this one, and then you went to that one, and then you did that one, and then you did that one. I didn't fail. I learned. I tried new things. I did what others won't. And I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just think I have more motivation. I just think I have more common sense than some people. I think I just have more drive. I think I just have more of a want out of life than a lot of people. And you watch these other channels, Life Uncontained, Wild Wonderful Off Grid, This Off Grid Life, Can't Contain Us. There's just so many of these channels that are out there doing these things that most people won't. It makes you stand out. It makes you really, really stand out in life. And that's the things that I'm going to teach Danielle. And you guys saw, this is proof. Proof. I was struggling at the beginning of this video. And if you stay consistent on it, and you stay consistent thinking about positive things, and you don't let the bad stuff get you down, and you just really, really try. These guineas are going after those goats. It's funny. And you just motivate yourself, and you think positive, and you push, and you just remember all the things that you've done and the hardships you've gone through. And you know what? I hate drywall with a passion. And I told myself, I'm going to conquer this drywall. I'm going to do the best I can. It may not come out perfect, but I am going to own this drywall. And you guys will see in the Crocker video that I am going to own the drywall. And I hate drywall. This is the thing I hated most about this whole build. I was not looking forward to. More so than drilling holes and putting the electric through it. I hate doing that. But I am going to push and push and push and push and push. And I'm going to do the best I can. And I'm going to push and push and push and push and show Reagan that she can do whatever she wants in life. We live in a completely different world and society than we did when I was young and when you guys were young. I remember when gas was 89 cents. You could go rent a house. I rented a house with a buddy for like, I think it was $400 a month. You couldn't even rent a closet for $400 a month now. Jared and I, when we first started driving, we put $5 in our minivan and we could drive all week. $5 won't even get us down the street anymore. We didn't have all the crazy technology. We had a Nintendo and a square black and white TV. We had color TVs back then, but we had a square black and white TV in our bedroom. We ended up buying, this square tube TV that was this big. You could barely hold it. We didn't have iPads. We didn't have social media. We rode bikes all over the freaking county. We had to really live different than people live now. And we live in the greatest time ever of technology. It makes life the easiest, but people just let it just destroy them in the craziest way. And I'm going to teach Reagan how to take advantage of the life we live now, but we don't live in the same life that we did when we were young. So we can't raise them the same way. We could take those morals and values and bring it into today's age, but it is just not the same. You can't go work a job and retire and have a pension and buy a house for cheap. There's no starter homes anymore. There's no cheap cars. You used to be able to, back in the day, go buy a $2,000, $4,000 car, a used car, and drive it for 10 years. You can't, for $2,000, you can't even put tires on a car no more. It's crazy. We live in a completely different world. So I'm going to take the old values, the old morals, and I'm going to bring it into this day and age, and I'm going to teach our child, our daughter, how to just dominate in today's society. And I'm pumped. And just thinking about that makes me pumped. Thinking about that makes me want to dominate this tiny house so we could be living out here as quick as we can, and we don't have the mortgage in town. We have our family together. We could teach her every single day the things that we want to teach her. We can have the luxury of traveling because we don't have a mortgage. Everything out here is paid off. We'll be completely debt-free soon. We do have a car payment and a tractor payment, but we'll knock those out and we'll be completely debt-free. We won't have a water bill. All we'll have is an electric bill, and that is it. That's the only thing we'll have to pay for. Electric bill and taxes. That's it. So we'll be able to spend our time and our money and our energy on just making memories with our daughter and teaching her the most awesome things. And I just could not be any more excited. And if you could watch this video and not see the excitement in me, and I may be running in circles with my words or whatever, but this is the type of stuff that pumps me up. So I'm going to get off here. I'm going to dominate this build, and I'm going to, after I'm done working all day long, I'm going to edit the video, and I'm going to get it out to you guys tomorrow. And I'm going to show our daughter and everyone in the whole world that watches these videos, get out there and do. Don't get out there and make excuses. Pump yourself up and think positive. Look around, and whatever everyone else is doing, do the opposite, and you're going to stand out. And when you stand out, you make an impact. And when you make an impact, you can live a good life because you're doing things that other people won't, and that will benefit you in life, whether that's at your job or on YouTube or just in your own life or whatever it may be, whatever you're doing. If you look around and see what everyone else is doing, and you're like, why are they doing that? Doesn't make sense. Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stand out, and I'm going to make a name for myself. You'll live a pretty good life. So, I'm pumped. And he's just chilling back there. So, I'm going to get busy on this. We'll catch you guys later. And tomorrow should be Coffee Crockers, Croc Alive, and the Crockers. We're going to hit it hard September. I don't know what we can call it. What should we call September? Let's see. What's a good catchy name? You know how they have like No Shave November or whatever. Let's think of a cool name that we can call. That's how I'll know if you made it this far in this video. Super September, Superior September. I don't know. Think of a cool name that we can call September. That means we are going to dominate and we are going to whoop some butt and we're going to get things done. So, appreciate you. And I'm going to drink some more coffee, get this stuff done. I'm pumped.